Bitch!
Welcome to the Unimaginary Friend Cast. This is LIVESTREAM episode 306. It's a conversation with your best friends, the best friends you didn't even know you had or needed. We are those best friends.
I'm Nathan Von Edmondson.
I'm Erin Murray Betty Davis Jr.
And I am DavidMonster.com.
DavidMonster.com. Welcome, everyone. This is our reschedule podcast. We were supposed to podcast 2 days ago, and we had huge technical glitches. So now we're live streaming at 9 a.m., 12 p.m. Pacific Eastern Time. And welcome, everyone. I'm sure there's just dozens and dozens of people.
There are dozens.
Get your coffee. Caffeinate, people.
Was
Yeah,
that the old
caffeine.
intro?
Oh my God. The production staff accidentally played the... You guys, you played the old intro. As you guys know, we had a meltdown because of the voting. I'm pretty sure it was Republican and Russian attacks on our system. We had to upgrade. As everyone knows, we have the #1 podcast. We have the most expensive podcast setup in the industry. And we spared no expense. It was the budget of a small country to redo everything. And something got missed. Something got overlooked.
Yeah. But
So,
we're here.
Aaron,
We just
go
had
ahead.
brunch, and so we're here. We're ready to roll, ready to talk.
You had brunch with whom?
Each other
Oh.
And Bill Maher.
and Bill Maher. He joined.
Oh, when you say brunch, no, you guys,
We made and ate brunch.
when you say brunch, you have to go out for brunch and there has to be like mimosas and outfits. That's brunch. I guess you guys had straight brunch.
I guess so.
Yeah, I guess so.
Anyway, today's topic is very topical, a topical topic. This week was election week. Tuesday was the midterm elections, and a lot of people came out to vote. And it was all anyone was talking about. It is all anyone is currently talking about. So we felt like we needed to unpack that a little bit, figure out where things stand and where things are going. And
David has a question.
There was an erection this week.
There was an erection. It sounds like you did not participate in the erection.
I voted.
Did you?
I did. I can
What
prove
should we-
it too.
Okay.
Well, I think we should talk about that, but I think we should give out our breaking news first.
Oh yeah. Oh God. This is so hard. Okay.
Breaking news.
Who wants to go first? What's going on?
Who has the best news of all?
I'll go first.
Okay.
Okay, I guess Nathan does.
It's real, and it is not about me. It's about one of our frequent guests, Gus Harper, art extraordinaire. He recently had an art show in Santa Monica, and you can go to his Instagram site, Gus Harper Art, at Gus Harper Art, and his pieces are beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
His style keeps evolving. It's still his style, but he keeps on growing and evolving, and it's really just beautiful stuff. So I recommend that you go check it out. I don't know if I imagine the art show is probably just one night. I didn't look up the details, but you can always go find his work on his Instagram.
Is that how you guys found out from his Instagram?
Yeah, I just saw it in a story that he posted, and he does the figures, the panels with the figures, and they're just really,
Show everyone.
they're really amazing. They're
Show everyone.
evolved. No, I want to look at them. Here, I'll show you. Let's see. Here we go.
Cool.
I didn't see them. That's cool. I didn't see
Isn't that-
them. I wasn't
isn't that
invited. I didn't see them. I have an anecdote about Gus Harper. Do you want
Do
to
you
hear
follow
it
him
or
on
no?
Instagram?
I thought I did. I guess I don't. I don't know.
Okay.
Who knows? There's no way to know.
What's your anecdote?
Well, about a year ago, I saw he was next to this mural that he was painting, and it was cool looking. And I was like, oh, wow. Like, I just wrote, oh, wow, where's that mural? That's so cool. And he wrote, oh, it's on Trolley Way.
That's where you live.
Yeah. And I didn't see it for a couple days, and then it's right across the street from my house.
Oh, wow.
So he's out there for 3 days painting it. I guess we're not friends.
Did he know that you live there?
I guess you guys, he's been to my house a million times. He met
okay.
you guys at my house.
Well, what can I say?
He had work to do. He didn't have time to socialize. You should have went out and brought him coffee.
If I knew he was there, I would have went out and threw coffee on him. Hot coffee.
Hot coffee.
That sounds mean.
I guess I can go next, unless you want to go, David.
No, you go.
Halloween is over after tonight for me, and Christmas starts a week from tomorrow. Does anybody know what that means?
What does that mean, Aaron? What do you mean Christmas?
Well, thanks for asking.
We kind of understand how Halloween goes long for you, but why is Christmas starting so early?
Well, I work a Halloween event, and our last night is tonight. So bittersweet. Excited to be done, but it was a good season. And then a week from tomorrow is I team up with Santa Claus, and we're turning my garage into the North Pole again, and we're going to have 15 families come between 9 and 4 on Sunday to do sessions with Santa.
What kind of sessions?
Photo sessions.
Oh, because you know that prostitutes call their interactions with their clients sessions.
David, your mic keeps cutting out.
It does? You can't hear me?
It keeps going low in volume.
Yeah, it keeps on being very loud and then very low.
Oh my God, I'm so sorry.
Now it's loud.
Is anyone else hearing that?
Now it's low.
Are any of our fans?
Now it's low.
Oh no. Are you guys talking? I'll try to figure it out.
Well, actually, you're up with your news next.
Yeah, David.
All right, I'll try to keep it loud through the whole thing. My news is that I am horribly unappreciated.
David, is that really news?
Yeah, no, it's not news. It should be known to all you guys. The news is that for another day, another calendar year, I'm unappreciated. Nobody cares. My reels that I do for us, that as you guys know, I have I have these huge huge staff of people helping me with these reels, and they're amazing. I'm sorry, but they're nothing short of amazing. That Nathan told me now I can't post on TikTok. He said no, but I've been posting them on our other social media, and I want to say that you guys don't appreciate me, but the fans do. One of my reels actually went viral, really viral.
Yeah,
124,000 views
on your personal page or on Unimaginary Friend.
Yeah, because I wasn't allowed to post Unimaginary Friend, but it was for.
Wait, what weren't you allowed to post?
It was I posted it on our Twitter and our Instagram and our Facebook, but I'm not allowed to put it on our TikTok. But when I posted it on my personal TikTok, it went to 125,000. But I'm just going to say that all my reels are just. I mean, Nathan's reels are very good. Yes, they are, Nathan. I'm not taking anything away from you, but mine should be up for Oscars. You have to admit.
Say that usually we all switch off from week to week who does social media. And I would say 1 in every 20 posts does well in reels. So David, you posted a whole bunch of duds last week, but one got over 5,000 watches. It was one of the Golden Girls ones. So it's hit or miss. And the other ones are 100. So it's so hard to figure out what people want to see because it just feels very random what does well.
Yeah, I know. But you guys, I need you guys because you have to. Well, they are duds. People don't care about them. Nobody watches them. But you have to admit, the reels I do are amazing. They make me laugh out loud. I watch them over and over just because they're hysterical.
They're very unique.
Did you see the one where I caught you in the shower, Aaron, and Nathan's yelling at you to hurry up and get out?
Yeah.
Wasn't that gold?
Well, yeah, I think we have to leave that up to our audience to go to @Unimaginary Friend on Instagram and let us know if we're
all right,
making gold or not.
Forget it. Let's move on.
All right, our gold star for this week goes to not just one person, but a group of people. David?
It's everybody that was banned from Twitter.
Which is how many people?
It was hundreds and thousands of people because when Elon Musk did that whole I don't know if you guys know that he wants to charge more for the verification check mark. Yeah. And I guess that's whatever. I don't care. I guess people are up in arms. But you know how he said this is gonna be an open platform and it needs free speech. You need to be able people don't get a joke anymore. Well, thousands of people that have verified check marks changed their name to Elon Musk, and they started texting stupid shit, and he banned them all because he can't take a joke.
Yep.
He's a douchebag. Elon Musk is a douchebag. Can we just agree that people are douchebags? Can we just agree across the boards?
I would agree that Elon Musk is.
Yeah. Okay, good.
Every day.
Yeah, he does. There's something wrong with him. And I know there really is something wrong with him, and that's rude, and people are going to be like, David, but like beyond that.
Yeah.
He's South African. I'm sorry, I said it. He's South African. We need to stop with the South Africans. Okay, go ahead.
He's definitely someone who's ready for a big fall. Like he's gonna something, he thinks he is a god at this point, and that's
he does
for long. So
yeah, Twitter, a shit show now.
Yeah, they fired half their staff, and
dude, yeah,
they're about to. Well, who knows? He even said that they may go bankrupt. We'll see.
He said that.
Yeah, I believe he did, but there's that chance for sure. But we'll just have to see how the shit show goes, because it's been a shit show since he's been involved.
And I don't know if you guys know this, but Facebook and Meta are in trouble too.
Yeah,
because they're losing billions of dollars every day. I haven't been on Meta. Have you guys? I heard it just looks like shit.
No, I'm not interested in that stuff at all.
Don't you need Oculus goggles to check it out? Or is there other ways?
Isn't that weird? We don't even know. Sorry, go ahead.
Can you just look at it on your screen?
I don't know. Isn't that weird? It's one of the biggest endeavors going right now. This is probably why it's going under. The three of us have no idea.
Yeah, he's lost $700 billion in value.
Yeah, nobody wants Meta. It's stupid.
It's pretty wild.
Yeah. All right. Sorry.
So we
go ahead.
Topic. I really wanted to dress the part, but the only political shirt I had was this Bernie Sanders for President shirt that I got at the Laugh Factory when I worked there. It was left over from the rally that they held, so I took one.
And I just want to say that Bernie Sanders is a Patreon of mine on my Smut Patreon, just to remind everyone.
I would like to fact check that.
Do it now while we're on the air. Go to my Patreon, Bernie Sanders.
Cool. So we're going to talk about the midterms a little bit. Nathan knows more than I think both of David and I, but I've been following it as well. And I know it was expected to be a red wave where Republicans take over everything, because that's historically what happens in the election cycles, especially when there's a Democrat and president in office. Then all the Congress and the House goes red, and then vice just flip-flops forever, so nobody can get anything done ever. What didn't happen was a red wave, which is kind of interesting. So what's up, David? I
have a question before we start. You said that Nathan knows more than we do. Nathan, do you know more than nothing about this?
Because is that how much you know, David? Nothing?
I know nothing. So go ahead. Take it away, Nathan.
You didn't even know that the Republicans didn't do that well.
What? That's fine. I mean, a lot of people aren't interested in politics, which is a bit of a shame because our democracy was at risk. You voted, though, David?
Oh, yeah, I voted.
Great. Good job. Did you feel empowered and like your voice matters?
No, I read and read and read all these things, and it's like,
were there any?
I don't know.
What are the
propositions?
Were there any propositions that are of interest in California besides like
dialysis?
Yeah, there was the one that got the most. It felt like it had the most ad revenue behind it. Is the one about the tobacco flavoring for kids. And I voted against banning it because it's stupid. I'm sorry, it's stupid. And what if adults want bubblegum flavored tobacco? And anyone who smokes or vapes is an idiot. So Darwin, go.
All right. Very good. Okay, so these are just some hot takeaways from the midterm elections. I researched a few different sites on this, so we'll just go through some of these and we can talk about them as we go. So one thing that's for sure is that at this point, Trump is damaged goods.
How do we know that, Nathan?
So there's a few points here. So his, of the people he endorsed, a lot of them lost, and it ended up, the Republican Party is going to be weaker because in certain contested states where they may have run someone who was more middle of the road and not crazy Trump conservative, they could have won. And now he's taken away their a larger majority than what they could have had. So the numbers with those, man, it gets pretty into the weeds with this, but so he endorsed 25 people for Senate and 162 for the House, and 17 won for the Senate, so 17 out of 25, that's pretty good, and 141 out of 162, that's good too. But of the ones that he endorsed, the amount that were actually contested seats was very small. So he was endorsing, kind of sure winners most of the time. And that's again why it was a problem for the Republicans, because he was endorsing candidates who were like extremely right, election deniers. And so a lot less popular candidates for the right have ended up in office.
Got it.
Yeah.
Wow.
Now, one thing that's interesting about this election is that it's the least amount of seats that a sitting president has lost in their first term in something like 20 years, since Bush's term right after 9/11. So normally the House and the Senate will flip back to the other team. So if a Democrat is in office as president, by the midterms, the Republicans will take over, right? That's typically what happens. I think Obama lost 60 something seats and Trump lost 40 something. But Biden is barely losing any. He is going to lose some, but not very many at all. So that's pretty amazing. But what's weird about this is it's kind of, people are saying that Biden's support is going to go down after this. Everyone on the left really had to support Biden going into the midterms. And now there's going to be contention in the Democratic Party of whether or not we should be reelecting him.
If not him,
Yeah.
Or rerunning him. I don't know.
Well,
what do you think?
He said he wanted to run. He said he's running. I don't think he can win in 2024. I really don't. I mean, unless the Republicans put someone up like Marjorie Taylor Greene or something.
Ugh, she can't win. Not.
That's what I'm saying. That I think she's the only one he can beat.
Yeah. Well, so that basically, what happened after Tuesday was a lot of really right-wing news outlets turned on Trump. And they, like, the headlines and a lot of the publications were Trump is a loser, DeSantis is in. So they blamed him for a lot of these losses. Like, he's toxic. He's the reason why these people didn't win. So let's push him away and rise up someone that we think can actually do good for the party. So if this is the beginning of the end for Trump, I don't know. I think we've all felt that a few different times before, and it never actually happens. He just always pulls forward. But he is supposed to, I don't know if he's going to now, but he was going to announce his run for office this week or next, like sometime this month. And I'm really curious, especially if he doesn't get the majority, if he doesn't have the majority in the House or Senate, if he will still run.
Yeah, I heard that it was, for some rumor I heard is that he was going to announce yesterday or Friday after the midterms, and that didn't happen. It's interesting though, because if he lost the House, or he's losing support with these right-wing magazines, kind of the mainstream of the right wing, but does that really mean he's losing interest from his base?
Well, I think he's always going to have his base, but there's the Republican Party as a whole.
So the Republican Party as a whole kind of went in step with the base, because they knew they couldn't beat him. Is this really indicative of them feeling like they can throw him out? Because,
maybe. So we have a listener. I'm a little late to the party. Aaron, do I correctly remember your predictions for the midterms in a previous show? Did I predict?
Oh, you did. And I want to say thank you, CB Actor Traveler, for waking up at the crack of dawn to be here with us, because he is a West Coaster, and the sun just came up.
What was my prediction?
I don't remember what your prediction was.
Because I felt at a certain point that it could go either way, but I never lost full hope. I definitely had some of the contested races, like I felt like, I actually felt like Dr. Oz was going to win.
Did he?
No, he lost.
Oh, good.
I did think that Raphael Warnock was going to win, and technically he did. He had more votes, but they're still going to do the runoff, so I don't know how that's going to turn out. So
Wait.
I was hoping Ron Johnson would lose. He did not. I don't know. Prediction.
Did Herschel Walker lose?
So that's Raphael Warnock and Herschel Walker. He got a percentage point less in votes, but they still have to do a runoff because of Georgia rules. So
they have to have 50% in order to be declared a winner.
So really, it's like whoever that third party candidate was took 2% of the vote and totally screwed Raphael Warnock, because now they have to beg voters to come out again to vote, because this is likely going to determine who takes control of the Senate, most likely, depending on what happens in Nevada.
Herschel Walker is one of the biggest disappointments because he was such a cool, awesome football player in the 80s. And just hearing some of the stupid shit he has said.
He's a moron.
He's the worst.
He's a fucking moron. And how stupid are the people in Georgia? Wait, isn't Marjorie Taylor Greene in Georgia too?
She is in Georgia.
How fucking stupid are the people of Georgia? How fucking stupid are they?
It's a purple state. Did I predict a red wave? I might have. I think at certain points I felt that way. I think a lot of people did.
Yeah, I mean, I think everyone predicted a red wave until the Supreme Court decided to take away the abortion Roe versus Wade thing. And then abortion became such a big issue for a few months that it was like, oh, wow, this might have given fuel to the fire that the Dems needed. But it was too far out. In the last 2 months, it really felt like inflation was the big issue. Like that was what was going to decide the midterms. But it turns out that wasn't true.
Yeah.
I feel like
I'm happy. I'm proud of Pennsylvania. That's the state we're living in now, because we did elect Josh Shapiro for governor and John Fetterman for Senate. So those were two. Well, maybe not. The governor race wasn't as close, but the Senate race was very, very close.
It was, yeah.
And I actually really felt like it was going to go for Oz, because I didn't have a lot of faith in Pennsylvanians to not vote for a celebrity. It's like another Donald Trump.
I agree.
Like starry-eyed syndrome, you know.
But isn't Pennsylvania different than California, where they're like, "Oh, we don't care about your celebrities. Fuck you. Like, we're gonna vote for
a little bit." And I think that was part of it with Dr. Oz, is he lives in New Jersey, and people just smelled right through his lies. Like, he wasn't actually from the state. Now, at the very last minute, when they had the debate together at the end of October, so John Fetterman had a stroke at the beginning of his campaign, or like right before the primaries, and it's affected his speech. So they're debating, and you can really tell that he's still affected by that stroke. Not to say he's cognitively not able to serve, but his speech was affected. So a lot of people just felt like he wasn't capable. So I really felt like that was going to hurt his chances, but
it seemed to. It seemed the vibe was that it really did hurt his chances. And it was funny watching his campaign ads after that, which there was a campaign ad by both of them every commercial break for the last week leading up to the midterms. But they really focused on him speaking in his ads. Yeah. So he was being very vocal throughout his ads towards the end there. He seems like a good guy.
He does. And I had an argument with actually someone that I used to work for in California. We texted for like 3 hours straight one night about Oz and Fetterman. And he was very much supporting Oz, and I was trying to defend Fetterman. He was trying to tell me that, you know, this speech issue he's having from the stroke makes him incapable of running. And
wait, who is it? Who's supporting Oz? Who is it?
It was a doctor that I used to work for.
He supported Oz just because he's a doctor. He's whatever. But Nathan, you got a compliment.
Very proud of Nathan taking an obvious stand in several social media posts this year. Well done. Thank you. I felt like I had to say something. I was terrified by Bill Maher's last epilogue in his show in real time. And it really felt like everyone was concerned about inflation, and it's hard to say what would happen. It was just hard to predict which way it would go. And it really did feel like the election about democracy, whether or not we were going to elect a whole bunch of election deniers. And I'm glad there's still some that made it on, but it's a lot less than we thought.
I think Lauren Boebert lost too.
Did she lose?
I think so.
Oh, I hope.
Oh, good. She's such an idiot.
She's a moron.
Yeah, she's terrible. I think, yeah, it is exhausting.
Yep.
It is exhausting to hear this kind of rhetoric all the time. Yeah, I don't know. Are you looking up Bogart?
Yeah.
Did she lose?
I don't know.
Oh, I don't know.
Can I just say go ahead. Yeah, sorry.
Oh, she just pulled ahead 10 hours ago.
Ugh.
Damn it.
Where is she from? What state is she in?
She's in
Colorado. The last I heard, she wasn't doing well.
I thought Colorado was a very blue state.
It's a purple state, actually.
I didn't know that.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. Okay, can I just say that I feel like it's true what I said that Trump is sort of an inoculation for the democracy, because he did well. I don't think people realize he did really well in his election because people were just sick of it. And then when he did all the fucked up shit that he did, it got people out to vote. And usually, like you said, Democrats will vote. They'll get out and vote for like one issue. But now I feel like they're because no one is excited about the midterms. No one, even the Democrats I've talked to, they're not excited about Biden. They're not excited about anything, but they're just like, God, we need to shut down the rhetoric. We need to shut down the Republican bullshit. So I feel like people are voting, even though they're not excited, where normally they would just not be excited and not care.
Yeah.
So I feel like Trump was sort of an inoculation.
Yeah. No, it's true.
Yeah, I'd say, yeah, that's true. I feel like abortion and democracy being on the table were big deals for a lot of people. Like I know a lot of people who were motivated by those two issues specifically. I think it's also interesting that the right, so there were a few people who, there's the January 6th committee, and another one of those representatives lost their seat. So since Liz Cheney got primaried out, and Elaine Luria, she's a Dem rep in Virginia, she got kicked off, and then there were two reps who retired. So I feel like the vast majority of people are like, okay, there was almost a coup, but we don't want to talk about it. Like, we just want to move on. So like, there are the people who are going to think they're straight up election deniers who believe that it was stolen from Trump. We're very motivated by that and think, that Biden shouldn't be in office. But then there are the Republicans who are like, yeah, he lost. And even though we've supported these, election deniers by keeping our mouth shut, we don't want to dive into it. We just want to move forward, which is kind of weird that might happen, that we're just going to leave it.
Yeah.
But that's the thing. That's what's wrong with our government is the Democrats never go after the Republicans, and the Republicans never go after the Democrats who are obvious criminals, because they're obvious criminals. They do the same thing every year after year. It's just like there's no justice at that level. They just move on and go to the side and move on and go to the side because they don't want people coming after them. They're all fucked up. And the thing, too, is why Biden and a lot of Democrats are going after the gas companies is they have money in fossil fuels. So it's like, fuck off. They don't, fuck you. Fuck you. What was your point? I don't remember what the point is, but it's like, fuck you.
I think it's a little more complicated because I think the challenge with going after, say, Trump, for example, is it can be political and make him a martyr. So they have to have a case that's like so solid to go after him. When you're at that level, you have to have such a strong case to be able to take someone down. Especially when you have someone who just denies, right? So with Watergate, with Nixon, there was a certain amount of integrity where people are like, I've been caught. And you hear him talking on tape and it's like, yes, he's guilty. And it's just, that's it. And then the people on both parties had the integrity enough to go after him and get him out. But he was pardoned. He was pardoned by the next president. So, did he lost his president? He stepped down. So he also stepped down, right?
Yeah. But he was pardoned by a Republican, though, too. But go ahead, yeah.
This is a good question by CB Actor Traveler. Biden has factually been the most successful president in his first 2 years than any in decades. Why does he not get the credit? Isn't it media driven?
Yeah, I don't know. People don't like him, but he has done a lot.
He has done a lot.
Well, what though? Like, what is successful? Like, what are the specifics of him being the most successful?
So the infrastructure bill is like one of the biggest, like that's huge. We're actually going to be spending trillions of dollars on infrastructure. It's like there's climate change efforts in there. We're actually going to be rebuilding, bridges and roads, things that people have been talking about for decades. He actually got it passed, which is incredible. The thing is that inflation was such a big issue, inflation. But Biden, and I brought this up in our little Instagram Live the other day, where he passed the Inflation Reduction Act, which capped, well, that's what they're calling it, where it capped prices for insulin, and Medicare can now negotiate drug prices. David, when you need drugs, and when you need,
I know, it is good for the people who, but he didn't cap prices on important things like protein powder.
That's true.
Or T-shirts, or gas, even for that matter. But go ahead. No, I know he did do good things. And I want to say about the infrastructure thing, the thing that cracks me up is the Republicans that were against it, they were the most vocal against it and voted against it. They're the first ones in line to be like, yeah, we got money for our state. Like, they're the first ones to take the fucking money. And,
I know.
And then they go back to their state and they're like, I got you money. And it's like, fuck off.
Yeah, that's why partisan politics are just so toxic.
Yeah.
Like, that infrastructure bill is good for everyone, and no one will admit it. On that think it was a good thing. Like, let's just give them that.
Well, they're taking credit for it.
But it's too much spending. We can't be spending that much.
Yeah, to make sure our society doesn't physically collapse.
Right.
Like, I feel like that's a good thing to spend money on.
So what's interesting, a few things that are interesting. So did you know that fewer than 1/3 of the Senate races were actually competitive? So 2/3 of the senators who were up for re-election, it just was pretty much in the bag for them.
Wow.
Right. And the one thing that, since there wasn't a huge swing, one thing that points to is that people are still very divided, and that there's really no real swing voters anymore. People are very strongly in the camps, and it's probably a testament to more people were motivated to come out, but it kind of still, we're just so right down the middle, like it was so close. And that most house seats are not at risk because of gerrymandering. So that's another thing that's like such a big issue, where all of these seats are they're going to go one way or the other, no matter what. And I think with the Senate, I remember hearing this a few years ago. I imagine it's still true, is that long term, it doesn't look good for Democrats. The way the Democratic voting populace is locating themselves in the country, that Senate seats are going to become more red, guaranteed red over time.
Just because all the Dems are in the cities?
Yes.
Interesting.
Oh wow. There needs to be a split off because the Democratic Party and the Republican Party, they both have such polar opposites within them. There needs to be split off. There needs to be 4 freaking parties. Like all of the Bernie people or the whatever need to split off from the Democrats, and all the teabaggers need to split off from the Republicans. It needs to happen. That's what, if people were smart, that's what they should do within their own party too.
Or just, I mean, when it comes to like something like the Electoral College, though, it's like, you're giving the rural voters so much power when there's just so few people that it affects. When all the city voters, kind of get shortchanged.
You want to get rid of the Electoral College? You want to get rid of it? Do you know how to do it?
I don't know what the better system is, but I mean, just a popular vote sounds like it would be better, but maybe.
Oh, no, I agree. But you want to know how to get rid of the Electoral College like that? It'll be gone in 3 months. You know how to do it?
What?
Have it affect the Republicans and they'll get rid of it. I guarantee you. Democrats won't. And wait, can I just really fast? I just want to go back and answer CB Actor Traveler's question about Biden. I think the reason people don't give Biden any credit is because our lives are so hard. Like, we're facing so many problems right now that it's like we don't feel like there's a lot of success.
I have to say, though, since yesterday, student loan debt relief was shot down, so it might be dead.
Oh, it was shut down.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, which really sucks for us.
Yeah, so it's been contested in the courts, and yesterday that was upheld.
It was, yeah. I said that it couldn't do it.
So,
are you? Go
ahead, David.
I was going to say, are you answering back to this comment that CV Active Traveler made student loan debt relief, weed, strengthening the U.S. position on the world stage, NATO? I don't know what that means. Do you guys
those are all Biden success stories.
That he's done well.
Microchip. Domestic.
Thank you, CV Active Traveler.
China. Okay. Yeah, so he's doing a lot of things. These are a lot of the points that he's been doing. People are just concerned that he's old and that there's first Black woman vice president and Supreme Court. You got a Supreme Court nominee. Yeah. So the thing is Kamala Harris is so unpopular. She's a big weight on his reelection. Maybe he could switch her out for someone else, and that would make him a little bit more popular. But
I think that would kill him. I think that if he did that, especially if it was like a white woman or something like that, But I do agree with CV Active Traveler. Kamala Harris, even though she's unpopular, it's the representation. It's like, oh shit, like a Black woman can get to the White House, and the Black woman on the Supreme Court, I think, is huge, just visually and just in inspiring not only Black people but just all people that aren't white and straight. It's just like, oh wow, like people can get through.
Yeah.
Come through, mama. Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
So in Florida, the GOP made gains with Latino voters. So the Latinos are going for Republicans. Although there are others. So in Texas, there were certain, and maybe Arizona, there were certain counties that they were looking at where they stayed blue. But in Florida, they're going red.
Yeah, it seems like the overall consensus with immigrants now is that they're wanting a strong stance on immigration, which is interesting.
Well, it's like a strong stance, but make our immigration policy actually work the way it should, where you aren't just showing up at the border and you're actually going through the process, right?
A lot of the people that are voting are legal immigrants that went through the system the right way and don't support illegal immigration or open borders. So that definitely falls for Republicans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know what to say about that. As you guys know, I'm the only first generation American on the panel tonight. Well, half, because my mother was not born in this country. How do I feel about it?
How do you feel about it?
Yeah.
I wouldn't have let my mother and her mother into the country if I was on the board of. I feel like I'm in both camps on it. Like it is like it's so hard. Well, I'm in California too, so like it is so hard to get a job here. So it's like I can understand people getting all upset, like, oh, they're taking our jobs. But it's also like we at some point we need to open up the world. Like the world needs to be dealt with because we're not going to be an island here, especially in America. So I don't know. That takes a lot of research. That takes a lot of people who know what's going on to figure it out. Like it's not something we can just sit around. It's not something fucking even politicians, I don't care if they're Republican or Democrat, can just make a statement on. It needs to be studied and figured out. And there needs to be a system and how to do it. That's the problem with our government, especially with the economy. It's just Republicans, Democrats making statements. It needs to be smart people to research it and figure it out. Like it should, like the American voters are so stupid to go like, oh, they said this about the economy, I'm gonna vote for them. That's the dumbest thing to do.
It's complex because there's pros and cons to all these different ways you do things. You know, like obviously there's pros and cons to like open borders and there's pros and cons to closed borders. And I'm more in between where I feel like we should make it easier for people to come legally so they can pay into the system. And there's so many job openings now that people, for whatever reason, people just aren't taking. Like we need people to fill jobs. Like if Americans aren't going to do it, like bring on the immigrants, but like let's have them come legally.
What's interesting is Trump's policies made it more difficult for legally arriving immigrants to come to the United States. So that's why there's all these job openings that like really important jobs that need to be filled. So student loan relief was shut down by a Republican judge in Texas.
That was appointed by Trump. That was appointed by Trump.
Judges matter. It's only recently that Democrats are becoming wise to the fact that Republicans have been playing this long game with the judiciary system. It's really depressing when you think about it. Okay, so a few quick takeaways. Just looking forward. Now that it's most likely that the Republicans will take the House, but it'll be a very slim majority. And it looks like there's a good chance that the split will stay the same in the Senate if Warnock wins Georgia. So we'd still have that extra vice president vote of 50-50. So if McCarthy ends up being speaker on the right in the House, it's just going to be really tough for him to roll, because there's going to be the one thing that is unfortunate is the right continues to be filled with crazy extreme right people. So Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz, those types of people are going to have a bigger voice now. Mm-hmm. So that kind of stinks. But it's going to be hard for him to get them all together, get things done. What are they going to get done? These are the kind of things that they're planning to do. They're going to do an investigation of Hunter Biden.
Do it. Do it. Don't waste our money on it, but do it.
That's what I mean. It's like it's like they're going to waste our money and our time.
Yeah,
that's just like what it's going to happen. That's what it's going to be. Not to say that he didn't break any laws. It sounds like he probably did. It sounds like he's kind of a shithead, but like I don't know. I feel like there are other parts of our system that can be investigating that, not our government. But
this is a good point. CB Extra Traver, Nevada and Georgia win would make it 51 seats for the Dems. And Nevada is looking very good. Yeah, the last I looked, it wasn't looking good, but hopefully it does look good. Nevada goes blue.
Can I wait before you go on? Can I just ask one more time? What the fuck is wrong with the people of Georgia? What the fuck is wrong with them?
Well, there's just a lot of. It's like Pennsylvania in that there are 3 or 4 pockets of blue and a lot of rural. Like that's what Georgia is too. It's Atlanta, the bigger cities, and then the rural, and then there's a lot of rural.
And we have to acknowledge the fact that a huge, I don't know if you call it headquarters, but a huge base of the Ku Klux Klan was formed in Georgia and still exists in Georgia. Fuck Georgia. There's so many fucking insane people that have power in our country. Go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Nathan.
So the other investigations they're going to be running are the potentially an investigation into the coronavirus response. We did too much. We did this. We did that. We shouldn't have done this. We need to take everyone to blah.
That is such a waste of time.
And then,
wow.
And, maybe even an investigation in how the U.S. got out of Afghanistan.
Fine, we can do that.
That was a big disaster.
That was a disaster.
So looking into that, and then people were saying, I sound like Trump. People were saying this is pretty extreme and maybe it could happen, but they could be launching like trying to pass national abortion stuff. So,
and then they're going to investigate like Liz Cheney and the January 6th committee, and like people. It's just a waste of time. Political theater.
Wait, investigate Liz Cheney for what?
Just like anybody who was on the committee.
The January 6th committee.
Which is so silly. It's so silly.
You know what though? I think that letting Marjorie Taylor Greene and Matt Gaetz have a bigger voice could be good in the long run, because they get such a backlash, and Republicans start coming out against them the more they talk. And that's what you need, is you need their own people to come out against them.
Yeah. Well,
all right.
I guess we'll see.
Because they say such insane things. Go ahead. Sorry.
No problem. Just real quick. Dems did really good in government races. That's pretty cool. And then there's a whole bunch of firsts. And this is kind of pretty awesome. There was like first elected female senators, governors, female lieutenant governors. These are all different states.
Yeah, New York has the first elected female governor, right?
Let's see. New York has first elected female governor. Yep. First House election that featured an out LGBT nominee that was in New York as well. So there's like, in terms of representation, first Black governor of Maryland, first Black attorney general of Maryland, first Asian American lieutenant governor of Maryland, first Latina member of Congress from Illinois, first Gen Z member of Congress that was in Florida.
A 25-year-old. A 25-year-old.
First Native American senator from Oklahoma in 100 years. First.
Are you kidding? Wait, sorry, that's shocking, actually.
First Black female member of Congress from Pennsylvania. First Black lieutenant governor of Pennsylvania. First woman to represent Vermont in Congress. First out LGBTQ member of Congress from Vermont. So yeah, there are a lot of firsts.
Wow.
That's Republican Party is in shambles. They'll get nothing done. I would like to believe that, but I feel like this party has a way of just uniting itself and getting shit done in the way that the Democrats can't do or haven't been able to do.
CB Actor Traveler watches all the news programs. They did blame women and young people for their loss.
Well, it sounds like, especially in Georgia, it sounds like white women voted for Herschel Walker, and like 90-something% of Black women voted for Raphael Warnock. So,
wow,
obviously a bit of a split there.
All those women are like, I want to be impregnated too and have an abortion.
Wait, you see Herschel Walker and Raphael Warnock? Compare them; it's like night and day. Like Raphael Warnock. Even if he was a Republican, I would probably vote for him against Herschel. Like if it were reversed with parties, because he's just so well-spoken and smart and kind and just seems like such a good person. When politics feel slimy a lot.
Yeah.
He doesn't. He just really.
And the shit that Herschel Walker says, like he's so proudly uneducated.
Yeah.
It's so sad. And I just want to ask, Aaron, aren't you a little bit ashamed of white women sometimes?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, good. We needed to hear that.
David? Yeah, I mean, I think I'm disappointed when I hear like suburban white women going Republican. You know, like, and I don't really understand all the reasons for that, but I'm sure some of them are quite unsavory reasons.
David, aren't you a little ashamed of Asian, Caucasian mixed dudes who are into hot dudes sometimes?
Yeah. Yes, I've said all that. I've said all that on this program. I'm ashamed of all that.
Okay.
The only person I listen to a lot of history podcasts, and I want to find out what people are all about. The only person it seems like that hasn't sucked in the history of the world is Harriet Tubman. Other than that, everybody is just awful and terrible. I think What?
She's the only one.
She's the only one. Like, you look behind anyone who was thought to be a great world leader or anything, and they've all done such horrible, disgusting things. So far, the only bad thing they can find out that Harriet Tubman did is when she had her Underground Railroad, she had to move people quietly through the woods and stuff. So they would give the babies, because they had to take babies. And do babies keep quiet, you guys?
No.
You guys have a baby? Do they keep quiet?
No.
So she would give them sometimes whiskey and sometimes like a little bit of opiate to put them to sleep. No harm ever came to them. They were fine. They would just go to sleep. That's the worst thing they can find that she did. In all of the things she did. What?
Well,
good for her.
What about Gandhi? Come on, David.
Yeah. What about Mother Teresa?
Was kidding. We're not going to get into that.
Thank you for our midterm follow-up.
Yeah, guys, we still have our Patreon, and in the new year, we're going to be putting out new merch. So the more you subscribe, the more stuff you get.
Oh my God.
So I hope that you'll go to patreon.com/Unimaginary and sign up.
Yeah, a production staff, you need to get on the new merch. They've been screwing around, I tell ya.
What are you talking about? They're on it.
But providing it, getting it to the people.
Right.
That's what people voted for. They voted for, they want new merch from Unimaginary Friend Cast. They want across the boards. Blah, blah, blah.
Thanks for listening.
Thank you, everyone. Enjoy
thank you. Stop.
Enjoy your Saturday and lovely weekend.
Don't forget, we also have TikTok, and we have Facebook, and we have Twitter, and we have Instagram, and we have Patreon.
Yeah, Instagram is probably our most lively account. And so if you want to follow us anywhere, I'd follow us on there. Because we switch off every week and you get to guess whose week it is. I think it's pretty obvious. We all have a very unique styles of posting.
But as CB Actor Traveler pointed out, Nathan's killing it with those TikTok videos.
Yep.
Oh no, we have. Oh my God, Sandra! I want to. You have to join Patreon. Go to our Patreon account, Sandra Jean.
Right
You
now,
have to
the
go to
only
our
ones
Patreon account.
available are the David mug, but there will be others coming.
Yeah, the others. Wait, tell her really fast because Nathan has to go. He's going in conference with the Biden people. Tell her how to get on Patreon.
Patreon.com/unimaginaryfriend. And you can sign up for different tiers depending on how much you want to support or contribute.
Well, if she wants a mug, yeah, there's a particular tier. Did you get that, Sandra? Okay, we're signing off, so we don't have time to wait. Oh, she's saying... Oh my God, we just told you. I'll send you a link. You send me a link, Aaron, and I'll send her a link. Okay, we got to go. Biden people are outside waiting for Nathan.
Secret Service is here. We gotta go.
So I just want to say to everybody, beat it, bitch.
The Unimaginary Friend Cast.
We love you too, Sandra, Jean,